All right, we're picking up on this problem. Write a polynomial function of least degree with a leading coefficient of 1 that has the given zeros, -4, 0, and 2. So we are going to write a function f of x, and if -4 is a solution, that means x plus 4 was in the polynomial. If 0 was a solution, then there's a monomial x in front. And if 2 is a solution, then x minus 2 is in the polynomial. So if we were like solving this, if we had factored and were solving this, we would have 0 equals. So this x would give us the 0, the x plus 4 would give us the -4, the x minus 2 would give us the +2. Now we need to multiply this out. So I usually multiply the first two together. So we've got x squared plus 4x, so that's just distribution. And then we've got the x minus 2, so we need to double distribute to multiply that out. So x squared times x is x to the third. X squared times -2 is -2x squared. And then, see if I can get another color. 4x times x is +4x squared. 4x times -2 is -8x. We would combine our like terms there to get x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x. So our final answer is f of x equals x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x. And you can use this keyboard, these buttons below your answer to write this out, or you can use the keys on your actual keyboard. I actually find that the buttons here are easier. So x to the third, we push the exponent button, and then the third. The problem is your cursor is now stuck in the exponent, so you need to hit the right arrow to get out of the exponent before you continue with plus 2x, exponent button squared. Again, hit the right arrow to get out of the exponent before you write in your minus 8x. So that's really important, is that your cursor gets stuck in that exponent and you need to hit the right arrow to move down out of your exponent before you continue. If you don't do that, you will end up getting x to the third plus 2x squared minus 8x. So take a look at how this looks. Before you go on, look at your problem to see if it looks the way you are intending. That does not look right, so you would want to delete that out and get out of your exponent before you continue. So x cubed plus 2x squared out of the exponent minus 8x. Now we're going to start the multiple choice problems. Which of the following graphs is -x times x minus 1 squared times x plus 2? One of the things I notice here is that there's a negative in front. That negative in front, so I'm going to write this, -x, x minus 1 squared, x plus 2. This negative means that the right side of the graph is going to point down. And honestly, with these 4 answers, the only one where the right side points down is this one. But let's continue just in case it's not that obvious on the test. Your zeros, your x-intercepts, are 0, 1, and -2. And something to note is that because of this square, it's going to bounce at 1. And the only one here where it doesn't bounce at 1, well, yeah, they all do. So anywhere where it crosses at 1, it bounces at 1. So there's a bounce on this one at 1, and there's a bounce at this one on 1. But our zeros are at 0. They all go through 0, at +1, and at -2. The interesting thing about this one, which is not correct, is that it shows it bouncing at -2. And this has an exponent of 1, which means it should cross at -2, not bounce. So that's the key difference there. The other ones have x-intercepts at -1, 0, and 2, which is just backwards. Okay, this one, I notice that it's a positive x in front. which means that the right side is going to point up. So I automatically know that it's not this example down here on the lower left. It has to be one of the other three because the right side has to point up. Our x-intercepts are at 0, +2, and -1. So 0, +2, and -1. This one is at -2 and +1. That's not right. Same thing, this one is at -2 and +1. That's not right. So it has to be either one of these two on the left, and the right side has to point up, so it has to be this one. Oh, and another thing to note here, I kind of side note, these are both square, so it has to bounce at 2 and bounce at -1. And notice, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. I'm hoping that you can on the video. I'll try to tap so you can see. But here at -1 it bounces, and here at +2 it bounces. Factor completely. First thing you should always try is greatest common factor. Do 2x to the 4th and -32 have anything in common? And in fact they do. They both can be divided by 2. That would leave us with x to the 4th minus 16. This is a difference of two squares. The square root of x to the 4th is x squared. The square root of 16 is 4. So we've got x squared plus 4 and x squared minus 4. Now you might notice that that is not one of the options because x squared minus 4 is another difference of two squares. The square root of x squared is x, the square root of 4 is 2, so that part factors down further into x plus 2, x minus 2. So our final answer is 2 times the quantity x squared plus 4 times the quantity x plus 2 times the quantity x minus 2. This one, notice I gave you the formulas for sum and difference of two cubes. You can use your notes to help you, so you should have a list of perfect cubes in your notes to help you. 8x cubed plus 27. 8x cubed, that's the perfect cube of 2x. So the cube root of 8 is 2, the cube root of x to the 3rd is x, the cube root of 27 is 3. So in this sum of two cubes formula, everywhere you see an A, you should put 2x. Everywhere that you see a B, you should put 3. Now there is kind of a catch because there's two answers that are very, very similar, but one of them is definitely not right. So we start with 2x plus 3. This number has to be 2x squared, but that means 2x times itself. 2x times 2x, which would be 4x squared. Then the middle number has to be 2x times 3x, or 2x times 3, which would be 6x. And the last number is 3 times 3, which is 9. The first symbol always matches. The second symbol is always the opposite of that. So it should be 2x plus 3, and then 4x squared minus 6x plus 9. So 2x plus 3, 2x squared, or 4x squared minus 6x. See how similar these two are? That's on purpose, because if you forget that this number has to be 2x times 2x, you would get that one wrong. So be very careful on that one. This is the only problem that we really, we kind of went over it in class, but not as much as we probably should have. Find the y-intercept for the function. A y-intercept happens when the graph crosses the y-axis, and the coordinates of that point are 0, something. So this is going to be 0, something, so it's not going to be that one, and it's not going to be that one. Some people might guess that it's going to be 0, 0. That would be probably a good guess, but I think because there's a negative 384 and a positive 384 that maybe it's not. So let's try this out. If it's 0, something, that means our x value is 0, and we plug that in and we will find the y value. So negative 2 times 0 plus 1 squared times 0 minus 3 times 0 plus 4 cubed. All right, 0 plus 1 is 1. and 1 squared is 1. This one is going to be a -3. This is going to be 4 to the third. 4 to the third is 64. So we have -2 times 1 times -3 times 64. Honestly, if you want to do the least amount of work possible and not use your calculator, you might notice that there's a negative times a negative, so it's going to be a positive something that is not 0. That means it's going to be 0, 384. If you want to take the time to actually plug this into your calculator, you would also see that the answer is 384. So we have 0 as the x value and 384 as the y value. When you get to this point in the test, it's going to say you've reached the end of this section. You cannot change your answers once you leave this section. So make sure, I would stay on this question and do review test. It's not going to let you go to this question 12 until you're sure that you are done with the first 11 questions. So make sure that you are good with those 11 questions before you go on to the next set. So I want to actually go to question 11 and then say next. Yes, I am ready. Go on to the next question. Actually, this is kind of not showing very well. Oops. Let me just do it like, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh my goodness. Sure. Okay, whatever. What you're going to notice is the top left corner of your screen, there's this little paper clip. And when I actually have this full screen, it's right off of where the edge of my recording shows. Let me see if I can fix that really quick. There we go. Click the paperclip in the upper left corner of the page. So you click this little paperclip and it is going to turn your video camera on. So you can see the video camera that I have right here. Hi, I'm right here. So whatever page you showed your work on, yeah, you can see my cool headset that I have to wear when I record. Just hold the page up in front. Try to get it as clear as possible. You can submit more than one picture, so you can try to get this as clear as possible, and it might be easier, like I have to have mine flat on the screen right now. And then you click Take Picture, and if you like how it looks, you can attach that to the question. Then you can click Back to Webcam, and you can take another picture. So if you want to take like 4 pictures, one of each problem, try to get them as clear as possible. I don't know if tapping on the screen. We have noticed that sometimes it's not super clear. So try to get zoomed in. Try to get it as clear as possible. And again, now you have 2 attachments. You can go back to the webcam and attach more. So if you want to take like one picture of the first 3, another picture of the middle, another picture of the bottom, that would be fine. But get those pictures attached. The thing is, once you're done attaching your pictures, it's not really super obvious what to do next. You need to just click this little X to close the window. And now up in the upper left corner, it shows that there are 2 attachments. So however many pictures you took and attached, it should show how many pictures there. Then select the grade you think you got on this test. I think I got an A. This is a way for you to turn in your work and tell me how you think you did on the test. That will help me out a lot as I go to look at your partial credit at your work. Once you're done with that, you click End Test. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.